While looking at opposition in romantic relationships, I also started to think about opposition in friendships. I think because different perspectives can come together so well, these relationships sometimes cause the opposing people involved to enmesh and form a supportive yet codependent bond. As they say, opposites attract. I want to take a look at a few shows here, but primarily focus on Insecure. I've rewatched Insecure a few times now and started to realize the same codependency the characters experience in their relationships intensifies their friendships until a point of exhaustion, leading to both romantic and friendship breakups. But just because a relationship doesn't feel right at one point doesn't mean it can't be rebuilt after some growth and maturity. So let's start by backing up and taking a look at depictions of opposing codependent friends in mainstream television from 1976's sitcom Laverne and Shirley, which started as a Happy Days spin-off series about two polar opposite roommates who worked at a brewery and did everything together. Then later in 1998, Will and Grace picked up the baton, with Will being a straightforward corporate lawyer and Grace, boo Deborah Messing,
you suck,
an impulsive interior designer. We also see this take place in New York City, so we have more diverse characters, with Will being a gay man and Grace being a Jewish woman. So the show was seen as a cultural breakthrough in terms of getting more diverse characters on screen. Both these shows went on for long periods, with Laverne and Shirley spanning 8 seasons and Will and Grace having 8 seasons as well, but then they were rebooted in 2017 with another 3 seasons, so 11 seasons in total. In the black sitcom tradition, shows like A Different World, Living Single, and Girlfriends used humor and heart to explore groups of educated codependent friends leaning on each other through career stumbles and romantic misfires. Groundbreaking black storytelling was redefining how black friendships and love appeared on screen. These classics laid the groundwork for the 2010s when black creators stepped to the forefront of mainstream media. Before Insecure, Issa Rae broke through with The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl on YouTube in 2011, a fictional series about a nerdy, awkward black girl based on Issa Rae's personal experience. The series instantly resonated because it refused to shrink black womanhood into stereotypes and allowed black characters new dynamics. Audiences and gatekeepers alike took notice as this nuance she allowed for her characters would later go on to influence 2016's Insecure on HBO. However, there were a couple broads that paved the way for a show like Insecure to even exist, with Broad City, a 2010 indie web hit that was developed into a 2014 Comedy Central staple about two codependent friends, Abby and Alana, living in New York City, with Abby being the more straight-edge friend and Alana being the more wild friend. However, their bond develops in not only their similarities of being two Jewish women in their 20s living in New York City at a certain time in history, but because they are fascinated about the exact things that make them different. Abby's so impressed about Alana's chaotic life and what she gets herself into, and Alana is so curious about Abby's weird little interests and her authentic normality. I always like to think of Broad City being the same show as Insecure, but in a different font, since they're both similar, with them both being about two codependent young women living in a major American city during a very specific era of modern history. They also both ran for 5 seasons, over 5 years. However, they are also very different, with Broad City being more comedy-based and focusing on one's early to late 20s, compared to Insecure, which is also very comedy-based, but more of a dramedy focusing on one's late 20s to early 30s. It still has the same playfulness, but with the more stylized allure that reflects the self-growth of one's 20s that allows you to approach a more confident 30s. So with Issa Rae deciding to call the show Insecure, she let people know right away, I know you think I'm supposed to have my shit together, but it's just not there yet, and I'm okay with that.
Woo! Yeah.
At that time, representations of black women were like flawless, fierce, can be waterboarded, can do like jump through superhuman. And it was just like, I'm none of those things. I don't feel like that. And so even in naming the show Insecure, that was, I remember the former president of the network after the table read was like, can we talk about the title? And I was like, sure. And he was like, when I see these women, I don't see insecure women. I see them being confident, and he's fierce and bold. And I was like, see, that's what I don't want that. I don't want that image, because we're not always that, and we shouldn't have to be that. And so to break down, I want to break that down with these characters. Does anybody actually have any questions about We Got Y'all?
Why ain't you married?
I'm just not right now.
My dad said ain't nobody checking for bitter-ass black women anymore.
That's okay. And tell your dad that black women aren't bitter. They're just tired of being expected to settle for less.
Her outfit settled for less.
Issa Dee is a quirky 29-year-old black woman navigating within her community and culture while also dealing with the capitalistic demands of corporate whiteness and overall societal disparities as an LA native. She works at a nonprofit she's unhappy with, which also merges with the issues she has with her long-term boyfriend, Lawrence, causing Issa to feel like the grass might be greener elsewhere. Despite feeling this way, Issa and Lawrence are similarly lighthearted people and have a real friendship past the romantic relationship. But Issa starts to feel like Lawrence isn't as motivated as she is, and with Lawrence being unemployed for a few years, Issa feels more pressure on herself to keep her job and support both of them.
All right, well, have you told Lawrence what your issues are with him? Like, really spelled it out? Because sometimes when you're really in it, it's hard to see shit clearly.
Yeah, but why do I have to be the one to see shit so clearly? You know, I love him, but it's hard to carry the emotional weight and the financial weight. Like, those are heavy as fuck.
You sure it's all on him? I mean, it does take two to make it or break it.
Bitch, you eating tacos with him or me?
You right.
However, Issa has a hard time taking things seriously herself, which causes her to slack off as well and treat important matters frivolously.
I think your pussy's broken.
What?
No, I read about it. It's like pussy's breaking everywhere. I think your pussy's sad. It's had enough. And if it could talk, it would make that sad Marge Simpson groan.
We see this when Issa starts to chase after Daniel, an old love interest from high school, looking at him with rose-colored lenses as she neglects her 5-year relationship with Lawrence.
I'm just buying.
You buying panties?
Why are you being all loud?
Why are you buying a six-pack?
It's cheaper, and it's not like it's the cute kind.
Wait, are you not coming home?
Lawrence, I'm not ready to talk about
No,
this right now.
no. You can't keep ignoring me, Issa. I want to talk.
Lawrence, we are not about to be the black couple fighting in Rite Aid.
And ends up cheating on him, then immediately regretting it. Lawrence finds out, breaks up with her, and leaves their apartment. Issa struggles to move on without him and keeps hoping that he'll take her back despite Lawrence feeling like he wants to move on. Issa and Lawrence were extremely compatible, but because Issa felt that they weren't growing together and that she was lifting more of the weight, she began to devalue what he brought to the relationship, which caused her to cheat on Lawrence. This setback starts to push Issa past her limits while also having to move out of her apartment and stay with Daniel and really look at her life from the ground up. When Issa hits this rock bottom, she has no one else to put the blame on but herself for not taking her life more seriously and actually addressing the issues that have been allowing her to feel unsatisfied in life. Issa realizes that she has to do everything she can to make it back to herself, and so she starts driving Lyft as a way to make money.
Y'all bitches said there's a party living.
Wow. Tell him all.
A nigga trying to party.
Yeah, you should get another lift.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You can do something! Stop fighting! I'm driving! Nigga, pull over! I can't find a parking space! Fuck us, babe! I'm gonna take you! Issa!
Once Issa notices the unhealthy dynamic between her and Daniel, she acknowledges it before it goes too far and finds a way to land herself a job as a property manager for an apartment complex, which also comes with a clutch 1-bedroom apartment. To distract herself from her dry dating life, Issa takes on a bigger role at work to try to have more control over her life and grow.
Someone once said, you can do it if you put your back into it. Ice Cube.
However, at work, Issa's dealing with discrimination against students from the school's vice principal.
Sorry, things kind of fall through the cracks now, you know. Not the school's so overpopulated. Might have to build a wall or something, having them pay for it. A wall.
Because Issa avoids taking ownership of the issue until she's forced to, she later gets caught for not reporting it and handling it properly. So it impacts her status at her job, and she's essentially demoted to desk duty. Of course, while this happens, she begins dating a Houston transplant, Nathan, but is ghosted by him, and it really gets to her.
What if he's not in there? Oh God, what if he is in there? Just go in. He'll be happy to see you. Nuh-uh, bitch. What if he's with someone else? He fucking better not be with someone else. What if we just take a peek? Just a peeky peek. Unless he is with someone else. Then we gonna murder him in the dick. But like, what if I could guess his password? That'd be a sign. ISSA?
Girl, what is you doing?
She pivots her energy towards loving her community, especially her closest friends, and she starts to look for work elsewhere as she quits her day job. Issa is then inspired to do more once she has her basic needs met, and she focuses on building her event planning company, The Block. This really helps to fulfill Issa, and she starts to feel she's heading in the right direction with her career. Molly Carter is a highly intelligent, well-off lawyer. She has learned how to maneuver her way through any situation and gets along with most people.
White people love Molly. Black people also love Molly.
Domino, bitch!
What am I doing wrong?
But still, Molly feels incomplete due to her lack of a stable adult relationship.
Molly, I got engaged. She proposed last night.
I'm so happy for you. Hi, girl.
It is never happening for me.
You sound like you're exercising. You don't exercise.
This insecurity causes Molly to get overly attached very quickly and overthink simple dating actions as being more significant than they are. With her life going the way she wants, Molly has all the time in the world to focus on getting in a relationship, and this becomes its own sideshow within the show, with the misadventures of Molly's dating life leading her character's development.
If I'm into them, then I'm too smothering. If I take my time and try to give them space, oh, I didn't think you were into me. Fine. Sex right away. Lose interest. Wait to have sex. Lose interest. If I don't have sex at all, I don't fucking know. I'm a grown-ass woman. I did not sign up for that bullshit.
Molly moves through men in the first season very quickly, not because they are all the wrong fit for her, but because she has this picture of the perfect relationship in her head, and any man that can't meet that standard is inadequate.
I messed around with a guy before.
Well, you do what?
Because that totally makes him gay, right?
Bitch, sophomore year, you hooked up with that chick who looked like Lisa Turtle.
Okay, who didn't?
I'm just saying, why can't black men explore their sexuality without being labeled gay or bi or whatever?
Because I want my man to be a man.
That's homophobic as fuck.
When Molly's firm hires another black woman, Molly feels compelled to help her navigate the racial biases of her workplace, but it isn't appreciated, which makes Molly feel conflicted about how her employers view her.
And we just feel that it would be great for you to have a chat with her. Because it wasn't so long ago that you were a summer associate.
When she later finds out that she isn't getting paid the same as her male colleague, she attempts to silence her frustration and try harder to be noticed by the partners at the firm. This leaves Molly shouldering her anger as she takes on more work and goes out of her way to impress them, but she still doesn't get the pay bonus she desires. With Molly's failure to be taken seriously at her law firm, along with her failures in dating, Molly starts to realize that she isn't as put together as she thought she was, and goes from criticizing therapy.
And that's just all like, I'm so centered and I'm so zen. I recommend therapy for everyone.
But maybe talking through some shit with someone isn't the worst idea.
Bitch, you trying to say I need therapy or something?
Come on, no. Like, bitch, you mad now?
Why would I be mad when you wrong as hell, Issa?
To trying it out.
You frame a lot of things in your life with should. Have you noticed that?
No.
2 weeks ago, you said, things should be easier for me as a successful black woman. And another time you said, things should have fallen into place by now.
Oh, well, I mean, I do have specific life goals, and I think that if you work hard, then it's short to yield certain results.
As Molly changes law firm, she starts to notice the differences in her new law firm compared to her old one, which disappoints her as she feels that it is lacking.
Everything okay?
Yeah, it's fine. We just did things a different way at my old firm. Okay, it's just at my old firm, you know, we use the off-site storage. So where's Malcolm? What is he, on CB time?
Maybe at our old firm, they started every meeting on time.
When Molly begins to trust herself and not live life by some impossible expectation she sets for herself, she finds a sense of peace in the positives in her new law firm, like genuine community and value.
So even the scenes where they get into a fight or they're cursing each other out, I was just like, no. Like, that's just how they talk. Like, that's just the level of friendship. That's the deepness that they have. It's this sarcastic, I love you so hard that I'm gonna call you on the carpet, but, you know, I'm not gonna let you stay in your mess for so long. But even if you are in your mess, we can bounce back because we're really friends. And that was the heart of it all, you know, and also that they were beautifully complicated, like both of them.
Issa and Molly are the definitions of opposites attracting. Where Issa struggles, Molly thrives, and vice versa. The show even starts with Issa's problem being her current relationship and looking elsewhere, while Molly is currently elsewhere and she is looking for a relationship. Molly, being single, sees the value in Lawrence, so she knows that Issa is being careless with her relationship. Issa doesn't take Molly's struggle seriously and performs her Broken Pussy freestyle at the open mic.
Maybe it's dry as hell. Maybe it really smells broken pussy.
Oh my God, she's talking about me.
Maybe it's really rough. Maybe it's had enough broken pussy. Nobody wants you cause you got a broken pussy. Nobody wants you cause you got a broken pussy.
Causing Molly to be embarrassed. Issa sees Molly as being difficult and picky, which she feels causes Molly to have unrealistic expectations in love.
Is my life a joke to you? No, real talk. Because it's bad enough that I got to deal with real trifling niggas and real untraditional niggas on a daily basis. And I got to worry about dealing with a trifling best friend. You made a joke of my heartbreak up there.
I didn't mean to. I didn't think about it like that.
It's a damn problem, Issa. You don't stop to think about it. Shit you do can actually affect others.
My whole life is about how shit affects others, okay? My job, my boyfriend, you. I care about how shit affects you too. I always listen to you.
Nigga, you only listen to me because I make you feel better about you.
Even though work lives are opposed, despite them both being the only black people at their jobs, with Issa getting a lot of unwanted attention for the wrong reasons, while Molly's desperate for attention for the right reasons. When Molly feels like Issa isn't taking things seriously enough, she starts to get annoyed by Issa and her personality, but tends to bite her tongue and hold things in. Issa is clearly a bit of a mess, so it's understandable, but Molly isn't perfect either. They both deal with their own insecurities, but because they are opposites, they see the other having what they don't and tend to be insensitive around these issues.
You act like finding someone is supposed to be some sort of fairy tale, but it's not. You're impossible to please.
I'm impossible to please? You can't commit to anything. Did I say shit when you were complaining about your job for 5 fucking years? Like, you can't change that shit? You've been on the fence whining about your relationship forever. But did I say a motherfucking thing about that?
Shut up, Molly. The shit that you said wasn't even all my fault, and you act like shit is black and white.
You fucked another man when your man was fixing his shit for you. Bitch, you don't even deserve Lawrence.
Are you mad that I can actually keep a nigga?
Fuck you, Issa.
But to keep their friendship intact, as they get busy, they brush things off that should be discussed. Molly and Issa know their relationship has been off for months, as they both make slight comments against each other and tend to patronize the other whenever they falter.
Girl, I guess.
Wait.
It's just that, you know your life don't have to be this messy, right? Sometimes I think you like that shit.
Okay. Wow.
Their relationship is physically supportive by way of hanging out and spending time together, but it lacks honesty and transparent communication.
Damn, girl. What? No, nothing.
Say it.
Nothing. It seems like you always finding a problem. Sometimes I'm like, do you want to be happy? I'm sorry, aren't you tired? Because I'm tired for you.
Their relationship stays fairly consistent, even as they have little rifts and don't speak for a few days or weeks at a time, but they always come back to one another. When Molly starts to date Nathan's friend Andrew, the tension between Issa and Molly builds up, as they both are so focused on building their new lives. They are caught up in staying friends out of habit and sharing community, but begin to continuously see the worst in each other, becoming less caring and more critical. As Issa's block party event is beginning to fall apart and she needs support, Molly tries to prevent her from asking Andrew for help.
Actually, I didn't ask him, and I don't think I'm going to.
I don't understand.
I just think it's best for me to keep those parts of my life separate.
Separate? What does that mean?
It means that this relationship is really important to me, and I want to protect that.
But Issa does it anyway. Molly, trying to establish an intimate bond outside her friendships, felt as if Issa violated her right to have a private relationship that is detached from her friendship with her due to their history of codependence, and Molly feeling the need to support Issa when her life gets messy. However, with Molly dating Andrew, who's friends with and lives with Nathan at one point, Issa is naturally in community with him as well, and should be able to lean on those connections for support. I think their big blow up at the block party was the culmination of this unhealthy codependence, while with Molly expressing all that she has held in the moment the event has ended.
Molly, this is OD. I don't have time for your drama.
Okay? You keep starting shit. You keep making up problems. You keep focusing on shit that I need to fix when you need to fix your fucking self.
Bitch, do you hear yourself? Nobody has more drama than you, Issa. Okay? You need to figure out your shit and stop using people. You use Nathan, Andrew, me, who else?
Guys, let's not do this here.
See? You are so miserable. If things don't work out with Andrew, it's not gonna be because of me, girl.
Fuck you.
Fuck me, I've been stopped fucking with you.
You still the same selfish bitch you always been.
Molly, get your finger out of my fucking face.
What you gonna do? What's she reaching for?
This could have ruined their friendship, but due to the fact that they were both in community with one another, they were bound to see each other and have to speak. However, despite now feeling fulfilled in her job, Molly repels Andrew when he admits that Molly seems to be fighting for a relationship that she isn't fully fulfilled in.
No, that has been hard, but we can work at it. I want to work at this. I mean, whatever we gotta do, we gotta go to therapy. I'll be more open. I'll share more. I can be better. I mean,
What are you fighting for right now? Forget about this time. Forget about everything. Is this what you really want, Molly?
And demonstrates that once again, Molly isn't being honest with what she wants, whether that be in her friendship with Issa or her relationships with men. Even when Molly tells Issa that maybe they shouldn't be friends anymore,
I don't know, maybe who you are now and who I am now just don't fit anymore.
Okay.
Okay?
I mean, there really isn't much more to say.
Yeah. Okay.
they're brought together when they have to search for their friend Tiffany when she goes missing. Issa and Molly's relationship starts to strengthen. They both stop assuming they know what's best for the other after they both end up having life handed to them, with Andrew breaking up with Molly and Issa trying to move on from Lawrence once again. As they both navigate their growing pains, Issa and Molly finally sit down to have an honest conversation about how they're feeling, realizing that just because they may not be codependent on one another anymore, it doesn't mean they still don't want the other in their life. From here on, we're able to see improvements between their dynamic and intentional moments of listening, appreciating, and supporting each other without judgment. The relationship becomes the healthiest version of itself, and this is mirrored in their romantic relationships as well as their careers. This is further shown when Molly's dealing with her mom being sick and takes on much of the burden.
A nurse. I know that my dad is my mom's primary point of contact, but I'd like to be added to that list as well. If you'd like. Yeah, you know, it's gonna be a lot for him, so I don't think he can fully handle it, but I can deal with it.
What's your name?
Molly.
Okay, Molly.
Reflecting how Molly's mom kept secrets from her to spare her and her brothers. It becomes clear that Molly's issue is control and letting go of what is beyond her reach, while trusting those in community with her to support her as she does them. As Molly and Issa start to find a healthier place in their relationship, Issa starts to recognize how to support Molly and not be so codependent, especially when Issa helps Molly when her mom is in the hospital. Through this, Molly learns how to be appreciative of Issa and how to allow those around her to give her support.
Shit is gonna happen how and when it wants to, but all of this stuff is out of our control anyway.
You're right. I just don't want to be out the loop. Out with my family, you, Kelly or Tiff. Like, y'all are all I got.
I promise you're gonna always be in my loop.
This helps Molly open up to Torian, her work colleague and her male counterpart, as she allows him to support her as she's dealing with her mom.
Work can't matter more than real life. We're on the same team. If you ever need anything.
I appreciate that. Really. Thank you. Weirdly, it actually feels good to be talking about this.
Once she sees the caring side of Torian, as she accepts his care, she starts to understand how to openly communicate in her relationships and live in the reality of the situation. Issa's love for Molly was able to transcend their differences and find a way to restore their friendship, creating more realistic yet organic connection. These trials not only help Molly find love, but also help her to find healthy boundaries in a relationship with Issa.
Thank you so much for everything, Issa. For everything. Just for being you. For loving me while I was me. And girl, I don't know where life is gonna take us, but I just know that as long as you're around, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Me too. I love you too.
Like, this representation of this young black man was a first for me. Like, I felt like I'd never seen a dude like this on television before. And I'd never seen a dude who was ambitious, yet insecure, yet vulnerable, yet prideful, yet a homeboy, you know what I'm saying, a cook, like, you know, but still couldn't get his life together. Like, you know, there were so many things that I just saw, not only in myself while I struggled through my 20s and trying to figure out who I was and who I was gonna be, but not only that, it was so many of my homeboys that I saw in that. And like, so I think for me, that's always been, Lawrence is a special character for me, for sure. And he's definitely a dude that I mentally could connect with in a lot of ways.
Lawrence Walker is Issa's boyfriend from college, and continuing throughout her 20s, he has big aspirations to do more with his life, but he's unemployed and can't seem to get his shit together despite its effects on his relationship.
I'm saying maybe we should get our shit together separately and see what happens.
You want to break up with me?
You know, Molly's waiting on me. I'm gonna spend the night at her house, and we can talk about this tomorrow.
Hey, Issa!
See you later.
Hey!
With Issa not being able to see the good in Lawrence and being critical of him, he starts to rely on outside validation to help bolster his ego.
Okay, you got a lot going for you.
I don't know about all that.
I do. You a good black man. You went to college. I see you still got some savings.
Yeah, but...
But what? You out here trying to work and make something of yourself, right?
Yeah.
With no kids?
Enough to believe in himself and keep his head up during his job hunt. When he breaks up with Issa after she cheats on him, Lawrence is upset over her, but his friends also keep him motivated and try to cheer him up, which really reinforces the theme of community as a support system. Lawrence is then able to be supported while also trying to grow as he gets a job at a tech startup after working at Best Buy. As an intelligent, educated, and non-hotep black man, all these women see the potential in Lawrence and make him feel like he can be somebody. So when Issa cheats on him, Lawrence knows he didn't deserve it and leaves to preserve his integrity. However, we can see from Lawrence's fumble through love that he felt secure in his relationship with Issa and has trouble making authentic connections after being in a couple for so long. Lawrence was so used to being considered a good guy that when he starts to date again, he doesn't know how to be honest about what he wants and tends to go with the flow to appease people and make them happy.
Quit acting like you give a fuck about what I want.
Yo, Tasha.
You a fuck nigga.
Yo, come on.
No, you know what? You worse than a fuck nigga. You a fuck nigga who thinks he's a good dude.
Coming back downstairs?
Yeah.
From Tasha to Parna to Condola.
If anybody should be worried about an ex, it should probably be me.
Come on.
What? You and Issa have little jokes and you have the same friends? How do you think that makes me feel?
It's not like that between us. Like, I broke up with her.
Because she cheated.
I still left.
But if she hadn't?
She hadn't what? Cheated? Okay, she did.
But if she hadn't, would you still be together?
Issa and Lawrence run in the same circles, so they start to see each other more, and Issa realizes she never truly got over him. By this point, Issa's life is developing, and she's moving into her best self. Prior, when she felt stifled by her job and lack of community there, she bolts Lawrence and his unemployment in with that disappointment, and didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. Issa had the right to be let down by Lawrence's lack of motivation, as she was supporting the two of them, but instead of finding ways to encourage him and uplift him, she did the opposite and made him feel like a bum.
Things are that bad between us?
Yeah. Sometimes I used to drive around after work just to avoid coming home. I was scared we'd fall back into old patterns. For an entire year, nothing I did could snap you out of what you were going through. You didn't want to talk. You didn't want to go out. You didn't want to have sex. You didn't want me, Lawrence.
Watching you get up and go to work was this daily reminder that I had nowhere to go, nothing to do. And I thought about moving back home, but no, that would have just made me feel worse.
Why didn't you tell me that?
just couldn't. And then when everything went down with us, it was just easier to blame you. Then I didn't have to deal with my own shit.
Once Issa has seen that the grass on the other side isn't necessarily greener and that Lawrence is in a better place, she starts to slowly date him again and remember how good of friends they were. Because of their separation and her growth, Issa tries to pursue this relationship with Lawrence, but once he gets his ex-girlfriend pregnant...
So this means you're getting back with her?
No, I told you, I want to be with you.
But you're having a baby with someone else.
But I didn't plan this, Issa. I don't want this to happen.
Issa feels let down and calls it quits. Instead of approaching Lawrence's situation with nuance and respecting the love and friendship they have, Issa fixates on the issue and not a solution.
Lawrence, I had a chance to think, and
Yeah, I know.
Now that she's learned to curate her life in the way that allows her to have what she wants, Issa can't accept Lawrence with this new baby.
fuck them kids!
Elijah!
What the hell is wrong with you?
You too, man!
Issa, what the fuck?
You want some too?
When Issa and Lawrence first broke up, it was due to Issa's failures, but this time it's now due to Lawrence's. At first, Lawrence doesn't want to be in the situation, but realizes that just wishing things were different isn't going to change the actual reality of his life.
But you never even pretended to give me a chance.
I gave you a chance and you moved away.
Yeah, to take a job I already had before you blew my life up.
Blew your life up?
Yeah.
You are not a fucking victim,
Well, you
Lawrence.
made a decision without me, and now you're trying to use it as an excuse to keep him from me.
Wow. You know what? This half in, half out shit, it isn't working for me.
This causes Lawrence to step up as a father in more ways than one, while also discovering a new purpose for his life through his son. That rhymed. As Nathan comes back into the picture for Issa and communicates his ghosting due to his new bipolar diagnosis, Issa begins to befriend him and build their relationship from there. Nathan and Issa start to date again, and we can see that Issa has learned to respect boundaries in her relationships. However, as Nathan is trying to get closer to Issa, he can tell that she is still in love with Lawrence.
We were having a conversation.
No, we weren't.
Yes, we were.
The fuck you doing,
Let's
bro?
go.
Calm down,
Nathan.
man. We was just
Nathan.
talking.
I'm calm, but I could go up.
Bro, you keep trying to walk in my space.
Oh, stop. You got
been had
stop
problems.
it.
All right, so
Nathan,
you been had
stop.
Don't fucking
Stop.
go.
When Nathan breaks up with Issa, he communicates his feelings to her, showing his growth.
I've been, ignoring this feeling that I've had all along, but I gotta take a step back. Like this messy shit is just toxic to me.
But also leaves Issa alone to decide what she wants. Through this, Issa learns to make decisions for herself and to not allow her insecurities to block her from what she truly wants. At the same time, Lawrence learns to not be a passive participant in his life, in not only his job, but with his son. Through this change, he realizes he has the power to change his life and starts to actively pursue Issa again and allow her to see how he's grown as not only a romantic partner, but as an overall individual.
I keep thinking about all it took to get here. Doubting myself. Going back and forth about what I wanted. Being scared to waste my time and look stupid in case none of it worked out. And then I realized that it was all in my head. No one was doubting me except for me. I had to believe that it would work out for it to work.
So do you believe it'll work out?
I'm okay with finding out.
Issa and Lawrence were always compatible and had good chemistry due to their genuine friendship. But as they both had to grow to overcome some of their insecurities, they learned to love each other through the highs and lows. In the end, Issa, Molly, and Lawrence discovered that real loyalty doesn't smother, it empowers. When we trade ride or die codependency for communities that challenge, hold us accountable, and uplift us, we forge connections that help everyone thrive. In our day-to-day lives, every honest conversation, boundary-setting moment, and small act of accountability helps empower our connections to be more meaningful and organic to who we are and what we want out of life.